Well, how about if we pray and then we can start our conversation together, men? It's good to see all of you again. And as we gather, just to remain in relationship with one another. So let's pray. Oh, Father, we come to you tonight, thanking you, praising you for the end of a day, and that we can do it together is really a privilege and an honor as we continue in relationship with one another. So, Father, I pray for our conversation this evening, that it would be edifying to you, that we would give you glory at the end and in the middle and at the beginning. And so, Father, we thank you for this gathering of Christ followers and disciples who are called to develop and deploy disciples as well. So help us to do that, that we honor you as Jesus commanded us to. So, Father, we thank you for this time together tonight. We consider it holy, and we consider each other great friends, and we thank you for the connection that we have with one another. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Colleen. I guess I want to start with we had Ad Council on Monday night. We talked about a bunch of stuff, but I think more importantly than touching on Ad Council is how many of you were able to join us on Monday for the Theological Study Day? Daniel, Pat, Howard, were you on it?
No, I was going to be, and I was called away. Didn't get back in time.
Gotcha. Chuck, you were there. Dan was there. I'm curious to hear what your feedback is. I thought she did a very, very good job.
Awesome.
So, did you enjoy it, Daniel?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I listened 3 times already.
Yeah, I was going to say, Howard, it's not too late because it's there to watch at your convenience.
Yeah.
I got a report from John Cook, and he said the same thing. He really appreciated it and thought it was very positive.
Good.
Very
Good.
easy.
I thought she did a great job.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Daniel. She did a great job, and I don't know that anybody from the other regions
can understand. Yeah, it was easy to understand. I mean,
well, a lot of people have viewed it so far, so there's a lot of activity on the YouTube channel that have watched it, so it's really encouraging. So please go and watch it.
Yeah, do it again. Do it again.
I was on with my fellow directors from the other regions, and none of them actually were on it, but I think they were all going to go look at it. And I invited them also to bring the other regions. You know, if you have churches out there that want to sign on to these things, sign on. I mean, it's silly to not do it. Colleen, what was the total? How many did we actually have at the highest number, I guess? Did we come anywhere near 100?
No, no.
Okay.
There were 89 signed up, and I think there were like 59 that actually came on and watched it live. And so far, like 137. Well, half a dozen of those were from Daniel watching it a bunch of times. But so good. A lot of people have watched it, so positive. So, and she was going to post that onto her social media as well. So I'm sure some of it, came from her as well.
How do I find it? How do I find it to look it up? See it?
Go to YouTube, and if you just put in the search engine on YouTube, capital ERC space COG, it'll take you to our channel.
Okay.
Okay, and then what you want to do, Howard, is subscribe, and then you'll get notified when there's a new one put up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we have another one coming up on Monday. I don't recall the subject matter. Do you have the title in front of you?
I can get it really quickly.
Okay. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Good. Good to see you, man.
Good to be here.
All right. Well, while Colleen's grabbing that,
it is Loving God and His World: Holistic Discipleship Without Public Idolatry. Not sure where that'll go.
Well, I know that some of the pastors have mentioned they've seen some of his stuff, and he handles it well. So I'm looking forward to this one too. So we have 3 of these in a row. They're going to go rapid fire 3 weeks in a row, and I guess we already received some feedback that said 3 weeks in a row might be a little bit much. But the concept of the 3 weeks in the row was we knew that everybody would kind of be, we were thinking snowed in, cabin fever, and this would be an opportunity for 3 weeks in a row while you're stuck wherever you're stuck to have some training. I think the longer term plan is to offer this type of theological training maybe once a month, but every month, which will be something new for us. But it's a very cost effective way for us to get some really critical thinkers in, do some theological study, and give us something to ponder and consider. All of them will be focused on discipleship because, that's our mission and that's where we're going. So all of them will be focused on some element of discipleship. And again, we're trying to move the whole denomination towards that, more active role in disciple making. And I think maybe that's one thing I'll share with you tonight is the shift that's happening from, for the past 2 years, it sort of was listening tour and early adopter tour. And now it's actually time for us to start carrying that message out and resourcing churches that will embrace the discipleship message, but may or may not have the resources to carry out the mission. And we want to make sure we're doing that. So, there's a lot of things on our plate, but I think one of the ones that stands out as probably one of the, not the most important, but more important ones is, for instance, not every church has a youth program. They might have kids, but they might not have enough kids to have a youth program. So we want to make sure that if that church is not blessed, gifted with leaders, that we have some place to plug those kids in. And the reason I raise the children up is because every year we have those, we have a large amount of kids that go through Elisra and they go up there and they make their commitment. And then they come back and the church may or may not be equipped to now walk with that young person. And we want to make sure that that young person doesn't get lost. The same thing could be said for anybody, right? I'm using kids as the model, but the same thing could be said for anybody. A church cut it a different way. Maybe somebody comes out and they make a stronger commitment and say, I'm going to now in this moment of my life, act on my calling. But their calling is not necessarily to be a pastor. Maybe it's to be an evangelist or a missionary or something. We want to make sure that we have the systems in place that that person can get plugged in and get the support that they need so that they can live out their mission as God has called them. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for someone to make the often difficult decision to follow God's call, because that's not always an easy thing to do. So we want to be here to support. We want to be here to support the churches as they, continue to grow in their ministry roles. And again, if you take it back, we take it back to the strategic plan that was passed probably more than 2 years ago now. And that is, we're looking to take steps to make sure that we have healthy pastors and healthy ministries and healthy churches, and that they continue to grow, that we continue to raise up church planters and the next generation of pastors, that we're raising these people up to the point where I think if we're really healthy, no congregation should have to worry who their next pastor is going to be, because that person emerges, right from within. And so that's a place where, boy, it would be great if we could get there. So again, I'm going to pause and go around, and, as you go, feel free to ask any questions you might have. But, boy, last week was special. Last week was special, man. That was good. I mean, we went an hour and a half and I didn't want it to end. So there were some good, I don't know if we'll have great stories every week. I certainly am not going to doubt God that we will. But last week was good, and I thank you all for that. That was a gift. I'm going to start with Pat, because Pat, I'm on the top middle and you're on the top left on my screen. So you're going to be the first person I call on. How you doing, man?
I'm upright.
Was that good or bad?
Oh, it's always good for me, brother. I don't let nothing bother me.
All right.
Unless it's Dan. He bothers me at times. Monday was I got a lot of information out of it, but to me it was a little bit dry. And I think it's because I was focused on, I have an Old Testament history class on Monday night through MTI as well. So my mind was there. But it was kind of funny because what y'all was jawing about, we ended up jawing about that night in Vice's class. It was pretty cool. I had a nice little sweet rollover into it. I had 3 of my leaders in the building. We did lunch and the thing, and then we're doing it again Monday if we don't get enough snow. We're worried about the snow, so we may not be doing it again Monday. I might just be on it. But my leaders had questions, and I showed them how to email them into the lady and stuff. So, but no, it was okay. It was just, everything's going swimmingly right now. Doing what I got to do. We actually did have something weird happen. We added a new lady to our church page. I think Dan may have noticed her. She called message Ashley Don. Ashley put in touch with me. She is a missionary. She was a missionary for the Catholic Church in Jamaica. And she is still in Jamaica, but she's left the Catholic Church. So she's now streaming our service down there to the people she works with. And I put her onto the ERC webpage as well, on the YouTube page for ERC, so she can see stuff there. And I gave her Dan's Zoom podcast from you guys, just so she has other sources. She left the Catholic Church about a year ago. She won't explain why. She just had an issue with it. So I thought you saw her story on my church page, Dan. That's all. I forgot. You don't read that often. So it's just pretty interesting. It's just funny how social media, we're reaching out to places you didn't think you could reach out to. So about it. I started reading a new book. It's actually really good, and I actually encourage our leaders. I don't know if any of y'all read. I did post it. I actually got it for a song and a dance, meaning I got it for free. And Nick, I suggest you, because it's an easy read. I'm not being disrespectful when I say it, because I know you're not really big into reading.
Look at Dan. Look at Dan. Look at Dan.
He's
See,
having
you
a
didn't mean
seizure.
it.
He's okay.
Hey, you didn't mean it disrespectfully, but Dan took it disrespectfully, so he started laughing at it right away.
It's called Master Plan of Discipleship. Discipling is not an option for believers; it's a priority. And it's by Robert Coleman. And it's an easy read. It's not that bad, but I'll tell you what. As a minister, just get through the first chapter, I got slapped a few times, and that's what I need. I'm looking at things a lot differently. So, but it's a really good read, and I put it on my Facebook wall. And you might want to check it out, Nick.
All right, appreciate that. I like everybody. Put it this way, Pat. Everybody should like it when they read something that smacks them up alongside the head.
Oh, it does.
Everybody should appreciate that.
Pat, does it have a lot of pictures for Nick so he can get a grasp on it? Man, he really sold you down the river on that. Nick reads some good stuff.
Pat, I know you meant nothing but respect, so it's all right.
You made me laugh really hard though, so that was well worth it.
Yeah, we saw. What was the title of the book, Pat?
Master Plan of Discipleship.
I'm telling you, Colleen, when we have these meetings, we should have our Amazon link for the ERC right there so that when
I know we
when
get
these
all those smile points.
Seriously, when the books get purchased, that goes right through the ERC account.
Yeah. Master Plan of Discipleship by Robert Coleman.
There you go.
There you go. We'll get that on recorded.
Well, good. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Howard, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Yeah, Tuesday we had the best breakfast we could possibly have when the ministers came together from Maryland. All of us. Actually, I'm lying because I just say that because Nick didn't show up. But yeah, he thought going to the dentist was more important. It's funny how the good Lord works. 2 other people canceled at the last minute, so it was going to be John and I. So I went there. They opened at 8:00. There was 2 cars there, so I waited for 25 minutes, then walked to the door and saw that they were closed because of the bad weather. So I met John Cook and Frederick. We had a good time together. But that was fine. They worked out well. And John, how do I say this? Don't mean this as an ego, but sometimes John needs to talk to an older man. Okay, and that's I fit that bill. I don't know if I got the expertise, but I fit the bill as an older man. So it was a good time and talking together like that. I had an experience yesterday. Yeah, and it's wonderful when you get you got an answer to prayer. You're happy and you're depressed, disappointed, and now your question is, what do you do? And the situation is this: in February, for the last 8 or 9 years, I've gone to Dallas to a seminar at the Fellowship Church. I got to know people there, and I have a lot of friends there, and I really enjoy it. Okay, and the church pays for it, and they give me a week off, so I have 2.5 days of seminar. Then I have the other days I don't have to do anything. And, it's such a relief as a pastor to go someplace, and you don't even have to think if you don't want to. You just don't have to do anything. Yeah, and that's the only time I get away, and it's my fault, not the church's, but it's hard for me to get away and enjoy myself when my wife's not with me. I just feel guilty, all right? And I don't have to, but I do. So that's me like that. But anyway, not sure where I was going to go or not. And so I was praying for Lord, I'm supposed to go get me ready. So as I said last time, the shots come. So I'll get the next shot the 10th of next month. So I'll have all the shots and like that. And just seemed like everything was going. I was going to go like that. So I got a notice yesterday they canceled everything. Okay. Now here's my scenario. I asked the Lord, if I'm supposed to go, you open the doors, you work it out. So everything was working smoothly, got the shots, getting ready to go, everything like that. And then all of a sudden, you can't go. So I was disappointed at first. But that night, in my going to bed like that, I rejoiced in the fact, well, God took care of it. Not like I wanted it, and sometimes that's best, certainly. All the time is best. But, my I don't know what to say, not depression, but despondency is what do I do next? What door can open that I can do something? And I don't ask people to feel sorry for me, but it's just hard to get away, and I need to get away somehow. So I'm praying, what doors do you open, Lord, that I just get away? I know I'll go to Israel, but I don't have what do you have to have? The book, I've never been outside the country. I don't have any kind of passport. I don't have anything like that. I wouldn't know what to wear. I wouldn't know what to see like that. So
we can solve all those problems, Howard. All of them easily.
Here comes the sales pitch.
Do that.
Here comes the sales pitch.
Is there time to do that?
No pitch. Just letting you know. Most people don't.
Seriously, is there time to do that? To get a passport?
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah, you can wait months and still have time to do it.
30 days before
what are you doing?
January 2022.
Oh, I've got you going much earlier than that. So we'll talk about that later. Okay, I've got you going like in the next couple of months for some reason.
No.
And they're talking about here to get a passport is 6 to 8 weeks, and that's why I was saying that.
Yeah. You need to get away right now, is what you're saying. Not right now, but soon. Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about it. Anyway, I'm rejoicing in that God takes care of me. That's the bottom line. Is God taking care of you? Yeah. And when I say despondent, is the fact, okay, I really enjoy going there. I really enjoy those people. They've accepted me like that. I wear my Maryland jacket around, just to say I'm not a Texan, that kind of thing, and it works good away. It's surprised how many times you get out and ask a question like that. I got good news. My wife, she's got a clean bill of health. She's 99% okay, except for her MS. Okay, that's never going to be all right, but she's doing wonderful like that. Throw that. I wish I would invite you to visit our Bible study. It's not I'm saying that because it's not a dynamic schedule or program like that, but to see how the people are hungry and just enjoying it. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen people come because they want to enjoy and learning and asking questions like that. So again, positive. I'm going to be stuck in Maryland for the next couple of months or years or whatever like that, but that's all right. I'm here, and that's what I'm supposed to be. So life is still good. God's still in charge, and I got a lot of things to be happy about.
Howard, how do people get to see your Bible study? Is it online?
No, and that's it. I'm glad you said that. No, because I told them 3 or 4 weeks ago that we need to start. We've not been online on anything. They said we needed to start to get online, do some technical things. We're talking since we're going to move this to Tuesday. Thursday night's open for us, and so we're going to start doing some things online. And I've got a man that knows how to do it. So we're talking about, and it was nice. Last night at the end of the Bible study, talking about, well, how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? And it was not a question mark that we, it was how we're going to do it, the mechanics like that. So we're in the step in the right direction like that. So
Good. Well, make sure you check with Church Health if you need any technology. Talk to Dave.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Howard.
Still like you, even though you went to the dentist.
Well, I just want you to know that I love coming down to see the Maryland guys, even if the Maryland guys don't appreciate me coming down. That's all right.
We're going to do it through Tuesday. Oh, we'd like you coming down to give us something to talk about when you leave.
Well, that's good. All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Jeff, how are things going?
They're going. Been having a few health issues. I had to watch Mondays on the recording because I had some health issues last week, and they got me in to see a specialist Monday morning, and I didn't get back in time. But they got to run a couple tests here and see. But I'm just trusting God, and just keep plugging away. I'm seeing some movement. God has brought a couple people back to reality, which has been a blessing. They're really excited, and it's given me an opportunity to disciple them one-on-one, and seeing some movement, and that's a blessing for me. It's kind of seemed like a long, dark winter up here. But I'm thankful for my wife, Cindy. She's the one that keeps me motivated. She keeps encouraging me to keep on keeping on. And things are well, not better than some of the health issues, but we're seeing some doctors, and they're going to try to correct that. So.
Well, we want to make sure that we're praying for you, brother. The great healer can handle it.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and Lord knows your mission isn't done. You got 2 churches you're managing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And it's amazing, even though they're only 8 miles apart, they're so different.
Yeah. No, we appreciate what you're doing out there in the name of the kingdom. So thanks. Keep it up.
Yeah.
And again, you let us know where we can be helpful too, especially if because you got to, your health has to come first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself, brother. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Yeah.
Chuck, what's going on with you?
Hey, man. Hanging in there.
You hanging in there?
Got attacked by vicious puppies this afternoon. So you just gotta watch where you show up. I think I'm gonna get workman's comp for it. Since it was a work-related business I went to.
Hey, look, you needed paperwork from me, buddy. So you took that into your own hands. The risk was real. You knew it.
That looked like a pretty vicious animal, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Charges $5 for pictures too. But no, I got great news. A couple weeks ago, I told you about a guy that when Chase and I were walking around the neighborhood, we had the opportunity to have a divine providential appointment with, and not conclude the story, but to continue the story on. I made a couple phone calls and played a couple voicemail tags, and then as of yesterday, got the word we're going to meet for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Along with another friend of mine, be 3 of us, see if we can make it into a discipling relationship with him. But it's good to see progress in that. And lastly, I was just challenged. I'm trying to write these down real quick. Challenged by a webinar I heard this week. 6 shifts that the church has to make to become a multiplying, Jesus-fed church. I just wanted to read these really quick because they're kind of it's something good to chew on as you're relaxing. But anyway, today's church has to move from being one of today's church and today's Christ follower. We want to see more of Jesus and less of us. Second, we see people. We need to see people as not volunteers, but as unique masterpieces. I love that one. A unique masterpiece. We can just teach our churches to be unique masterpieces, man. That would be powerful. To move from more guilt to more love. Whoa, like history of church is about guilt, or has been. To be a true disciple-making church, to move from professional clergy to missionaries on mission. And two more here: to be a disciple-making church and a disciple-maker. To move from go and see to go and be. And lastly, for more strategy to be given over to surrender and fasting. Stepping back on relying on strategy and shifting over to being led by fasting and surrendering to God. So there's just 6 transitions that we're going to have to continue to go forward as we go forward in our movement to discover, develop, and deploy. So I thought you'd enjoy those. That's it.
I told her, I'm like begging her to come in and say hello. I mean, you know, she just got back from the church, and I'm like,
I said I already have my jammy pants on.
How do you like his new switcher setup there?
Yeah, that's nice.
cool.
yeah, baby.
Cool.
Dan Massart can't keep up with me on my technology, baby.
Dan Massart's gonna send me to the poorhouse with these books and technology.
All right.
What did she say about poorhouse?
She said you're going to send her to the poorhouse between your books and his technology.
Steph, I'm not responsible for that technology. I rolled my eyes when he showed me that thing. But I think it's more for you for a Sunday morning than it is for him and his little deal. But
No, then see, the church would get these things. He said, no, I'm going to get it for the Dan and Nick thing.
I did not say that. I said I will use it for Dan and Nick too.
he's if Steph, if he listened to me, he would let the church buy it and have this be the fringe benefit of it, not the other way around.
Yeah, but he's so
But he's
good and
not-
generous.
See, this way I can be guilt-free that the church didn't put any money out. See, so it's all right. Okay.
Yeah, I did not want to
Problem
come in
is-
here and interrupt.
let's
Yeah.
go to
Now we're
conversation.
way off the game.
Your problem,
So-
Nick, is pride.
Pride. It's not pride.
You should be a recipient of the gift instead of the need to just stand all on your own without needing to have help from anybody else.
God has blessed me, and I, have the freedom to help the church. I'm going to help the church. See? It's all about the giving, man. It's all about the giving.
Generosity, Nick.
That's it. That's it.
Speaking of generosity, Dan, my wife thanks you for the piece you wrote recently about Jesus made the whip. She really liked that. She really went on and on about that. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad somebody read it.
I read that one. So Daniel, I know you spoke a little bit. Is there anything else you want to add for this evening?
Not much. We're still busy. It's kind of quiet the way I see it, but it's just because I'm not in the midst of it. Whatever we can do, we do. I mean, like right now, we have decided to put the whole hymnal on CDs, so the old folks at home can sing along, and they really like that. It's a big job, it's like 15 CDs, but we'll at least make half of it, the best of. So we'll do things like that. I mean, I have to rewrite the whole thing, so that keeps me busy for a whole month.
That's really a gift, though, Daniel. That's pretty nice that you're doing that. I'm sure a lot of people will really appreciate that.
Oh, we found out with the CD we did on Christmas. It was amazing. You know, I just did that thing because it was going to the nursing homes. So I haven't heard much from the nursing homes. Somebody else just brought it everywhere we used to play. And then, you know, people write Christmas cards to each other every year at the church. You know, so I get a stack of them. I never do a thing about it. So I really felt bad. So I said, I'm going to give everybody a CD who wrote me a card. So that's how it started. And then I had more requests and more CDs. So I think I gave 50 away or something. So we're going for the next batch now, Lent and Easter. And we'll probably do a Pentecost version. So we just take like 50 hymns out, select them, and make a CD out of it. Yeah, that's fun.
That's really great. And that's a nice
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
especially during this season when people are stuck in their house. And
Yeah. The
Yeah.
old people love it. The old people love it.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's
so-
a good recommendation. I'm sure there's other churches out there that can do that too. I mean, I know you got to have talent and technology to make that work, but
You know, I just have 2 microphones. That's it.
yeah,
It's audio. It's not video. It's audio.
right.
So I had a hard time to convince BJ. She didn't want to do it the first time. She got scared. I know we don't play that good, so I just made one and I put echo into reverb. You know what the technology allows me, and it sound much better. So now she's in for the second one. So, so that's what it takes. Sometimes you have to start something, and then they hop on. So that's what we do right now.
That really
No.
blesses them, Daniel. That's really that's a wonderful thing.
I mean, it's easy when you know. It's easy.
Mhm. Easy for
I do
you.
I read music, so it's easy.
Mhm.
Now in fact we spent some time talking about what we spoke last week. It was interesting, and can I come back on that one? The subject of last week, just for a minute.
Oh yeah.
I was just wondering. I realized that we were asking the wrong question. If you ask me what I remember from anything, it's gonna be no, and I kind of realize why. My mind works like a computer. It's like I take the inputs, which are about the desires of my heart or my flesh or whatever, and I run them through my brain with the wisdom I have, the knowledge, understanding, and then something comes out and it's supposed to fulfill the desires of my heart. And then it's gone. I mean, in fact, the real question is, ask me what are the desires of my heart. And as long as they are wrong, you should know what to preach about to correct them. And then we're talking about that too. It's like, eventually, we should be gearing people towards the desires of the heart of God, because that's what He's looking for. And that should tell us what to talk about. And it doesn't matter if they remember what we talk about. It really matters if they change the desires of their heart. So it was an interesting subject, but I think it's we only look at a little part of it. I think it's wider than that. Just thinking back that God loves David because he has the desire of his heart, and he's focused on that, not on himself. But he finally tries to fulfill the desire of the heart of God. And it doesn't matter if we are sinners or how we do it, as long as we are willing to do it. But and the only tools we have, after all, are our own knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And it can be anything. So that's why everybody has his own way to process. But I don't care anymore if I forget what the preacher spoke about on Sunday. I just need to find out, did it change my heart by any means?
Mhm.
If it does, then it's a good thing. And I was really, usually Colleen doesn't say a thing. I mean, she does the story she came up with last week. because she's a woman, the woman has the desire of her heart much more than guys. We kind of brain processors and so on. It's kind of done, checked, forget about, next. You know, that's kind of the way we move. But the woman does not. So it's kind of, I felt like we were up to something, but we could probably go a little deeper into and continue the process of thinking. But for me, it's helpful. I'm going to continue working on that because I think we only just touch it, but and we didn't really come with an answer. And there should be a real answer behind that. Is look at the flock. Did you change the desires of the heart of your flock? If yes, make sure it's the way you want them to go. If not, you know exactly what to talk about. I mean, just throwing that out. That's it. End of preaching.
It's all good. I appreciate it. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.
Dan Masshart,
God's changing your heart, Daniel. He's moving you. It's great.
working on them every week.
I just want to note that number one, I appreciate what you said. Number two, I'm not sure if your heart's changed, but number three, you remembered what we talked about last week. So you defied yourself in that thing because you seem to remember everything that we talked about. I didn't remember.
No.
You remembered.
Subject was already on our minds.
Yeah.
A few days before with the pastor, we are concerned about how are we going to do ministry.
No.
So that thing was right there. I was looking for answers and so on. We all brought up the subject and we kind of opened the door. And I think it's worth continuing. But for me, it's like I have a better idea. I had the wrong question and I had the wrong answer. And I was trying to process that. And I wasn't going anywhere with that. So that's now. As long as it's hot, I want to keep it. As long as possible, walk it and find a way which is good for everybody.
It's good. It's good. You know, it's also the other thing that you're reminding me of right now is sometimes if you just ask an open-ended question, like, what did we talk about last week? And we're kind of like, I don't know. But as soon as one person starts mentioning it, like you do, then the whole conversation comes right back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, how often do we say, you know, what's this verse reference? What's the verse? And we're like, I don't know. But you start saying the first half of the verse and we can usually repeat the second half, you know, after a while too. So the stuff works its way in, you know, sometimes more than we think it does. But I like what you said, Daniel. I'm receiving that. The idea, you know, what is it that, and it's really, you know, the heart, the mind, how are we being formed? Are we being formed as a people who love the Lord more and are seeking him more as a result of what we do you know, what we do on a Sunday, what we do in a Bible study, whatever else. And that's, you know, that's real fruit because knowing stuff, I mean, that's okay. It's okay to know stuff, but that knowledge has to change us, or what's the point? So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I'm like to be here. I mean, this is a source for me.
Yeah, because this is the only place anybody ever listens to you, probably, right? That's how it is. That's how it is for me.
I'm used to that. That's why I play music very loud, so they don't have a choice. You know, eventually they're gonna tell me I'm past. It's time to stop.
Yeah,
that's how I know they listen too. But I don't give them a choice. You know, that's different.
Yeah. The only other thing I got to say is Nick and I had a good conversation today in Colossians 2 for our podcast that's coming out tomorrow. So if you want to follow along with that, you know, that discussion through Colossians, you know, we're kind of wrestling through some stuff there that I think is helpful, trying to kind of shape our own hearts, like the way Daniel's talking about. And, you know, it was a good discussion. So if you have a chance sometime this weekend or this week, check out that link. It'll be up tomorrow morning. And I don't know.
Okay.
Join the. I'm not talking just to Daniel here. I'm talking to everybody, but you know, join the conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess I'm going to say to you all, I mean, I don't know how much you all come in conversation with other pastors in your area, but I do believe there's a benefit to more people showing up for these gatherings. I said it last week. I love the fact that it's small and intimate here, and we can actually get to know each other so well. But I bet there's a lot of other pastors out there that are out there on their own, thinking that they're on their own. And, this is a really easy way for people to have a support group around them.
Yeah.
So, I would urge you to talk to your fellow pastors out there and invite them to join us here on Tuesday night now, starting next week, Tuesday night. And Monday, if they're available as well, they certainly can jump on that one. But I love this because the one on, I don't know, for some reason, I get a sense that the one on Monday is a little more reporting and maybe issue oriented, maybe talking a little bit. And this one, hey, how you doing? How's your soul? How, what's going on in your ministry? It's a little more intimate, and but all are welcome on both calls. So we appreciate that. You know what, Colleen, do you have anything you want to add?
Oh, Howard had something. Go ahead, Howard.
Oh, I'm sorry, Howard.
No, I was going to say, I appreciate what Dan said, because today the church and pastor we're supposed to fast and pray. And I have to eat something when my medicine I take for my heart. And every time I ate, I felt so guilty. But what he said is perfect. I had a wonderful birthday, but I missed the mechanic of fasting somewhat. And what he said, it was the heart. It doesn't matter the mechanics of the fasting. That's important. Don't get me. But he just thought I didn't have to feel guilty. I had to do something. That's mechanically, I had to do that. I don't have I guess I do have a choice, but I don't want to go back to the hospital, so I don't really have much of a choice like that. But Dan, you helped me immensely because I felt guilty about that. I was failing God because I wasn't doing this part. And my prayer time was tremendous today. Not self-centered, but you just felt a direction and an insight, and felt the Spirit moving direction like that. So Dan, I thank you, because what you said made sense. It's you're right. It's of the heart. I was thinking of the physical heart because I had to eat, but it was a spiritual heart that was really directed me. And I thank you, Daniel.
Don't feed him.
John, what'd you say?
No. So you're talking Daniel or to Dan?
Dan.
Daniel.
Okay, never mind. That joke was bad taste.
I wouldn't talk to Dan. I know him.
I thought it was Dan Masshard for a second, which I didn't want his head to get too big. But
The Lord shows no favoritism, Chuck.
Obviously.
Just a reminder, tuck that in your heart, buddy.
Well, Howard, I think it's like, for so many years, a lot of us grew up in the church where it was a checklist thing. Like, and if you didn't do the checklist, then you were guilty, like you didn't show up for Sunday evening, Wednesday night, absolutely everything that was on the church calendar, you were somehow less than, and you felt guilty because of it. So I think, like Daniel talking about, how these things are a matter of the heart, and, what God wants of us is the whole thing, whatever that looks like, no guilt, it's, the freedom of, life to the full, and I want to live that way. And so these intimate conversations we have on Thursday evenings, I think, are really good to open those kinds of conversations up where we can be real with one another about the struggles we're having, whether it be, a checklist or Howard needing to get away, can't get away right now. Those kinds of things are really important, that we unburden ourselves with one another and live free. It's really important, really important. Yeah. So it's good.
Good.
Happened, Howard, about something. Monday, I was talking to a pastor friend of mine from when I was a little one, and he just turned 90. And he was telling me how much church has changed since I was a kid to today. Like Colleen said, I knew Saturday I was outdoor knocking. I knew Sunday I was in church at 8 o'clock. If we were up by 2, it was a slow service. We were back in Sunday night. We were back in Wednesday night. We were back in for Friday night prayer meeting. We had men's breakfast. Our lives centered around the church. We felt a sense of purpose. And today, people put their life ahead of the church, and the church comes thirdary. It doesn't even come secondary anymore. Daniel, anytime you want to come up and play the Squeezebox from my church, I'd love y'all to because I can't sing a lick. And the only thing I can play is the radio. I need somebody who can do some kind of music for me, y'all. You're always welcome.
We can organize something. I'm
That'd
always
be
open.
great.
Or he'll send a CD.
All right. Well, at this point, I think I'll say don't forget Monday. If you're not registered, please go ahead and register so we know how many we're going to have for Monday. What are the registrations like now, Colleen, on that one?
I think we were at like 57, something
Oh,
like
good.
yeah. It was 56. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Could I add one thing?
Yeah.
Just I had a conversation with a California pastor on Monday, I guess Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember which. And he was just, we got to talking about the shutdown out there in California and what's going on. And we just really need to really think internally and keep our prayers going for our churches here in this land. Because he's saying, he was describing some of the things that's happened. The church is just literally practically now non-existent out there. Even the large ones that try to meet, they're restricted to 5% of their seating capacity. And so I think we don't know where this is all going, but I think we just got to really keep that in mind, prayer for what's happening throughout, not only out in California, but throughout the country, because the church is taking a huge hit, as we all know.
All right. So we've got that coming up on Monday, and I think that might be it for this coming week. Anything else, Colleen, that
Yeah, just so we Tuesday evening, that's going to start. So it'll be Monday at noon, Tuesday evening. Not Monday at noon. We have the theological study day,
Right.
7:00 to 12:30, and then Tuesday at 7:00 in the evening.
all
Will
right?
it be recorded again? You think
That-
you think it's going to be recorded again?
It will be. Yes, he gave us permission. Yes. Mhm.
Because I'm at work, so I got the first half hour. I really loved it.
Yeah.
I was so
Right.
glad I could listen it again in the evening. So
Right. Yeah, you'll have access to it. It might not be that evening. It depends.
no, it doesn't matter. But thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but definitely within the next day. I try to get it out, Daniel. So,
Well, that's fine. Anytime. Thank you.
yep.
I guess technically I can do this. See this? Oh no, I can't get it up high enough. Yeah, there. That's the thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Church, if you're trying to do something, in my back, I don't know if I went out there for a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Like $300, for the church, $300. So
Wow. That's really
yeah.
neat.
Yep.
Can you do the back
So-
of your head?
What's that?
Can you do the back of your head?
I have two more channels that aren't hooked up right now.
I'm sorry,
So,
Nick. I do love you. I just
Some angles
feel
you
like irritating somebody tonight. So.
it's all good. All right. Would anybody like to pray us out tonight?
I
Nobody
will,
likes to
nobody
pray,
else.
but what's that?
He said, "I will." Nobody else will.
Oh no,
How many books?
I'm always going to do it.
How many books could you have bought? Good question, Dan.
I have plenty of books I haven't read on myself. All right. If you'll just bow your heads and pause, we'll go before the Lord and just give him praise and thanks for this evening. Thanks for the fellowship. Thank you that we can come together in a free country and be the church and not have to worry about persecution. We do appreciate that. Lord God, you are so good to us. Our constant prayer is that we are living within your will, that we are following the words of Jesus, that we are in fact out doing what we are called to do, using every ounce of ourselves, our gifts, our talents, every ounce of heart that we have to give, every breath, Lord. You give it to us freely, and we give it back to you in terms of our service, Lord. We just ask you continue to walk with us as we seek to do better at serving you, Lord, in a hurting world. I pray that your church responds to this moment, that it actually breaks up every kind of idol that's been put into the church, that we can continue to operate in a way that just meets the needs of your communities. Lord, getting back to small groups and relying on each other and actually making you the priority in our lives. We appreciate that so much, Lord. I do want to pray for Jeff and what he's going through this evening, Lord. I pray that your healing hand be on him, that on his ministry, Lord, on the doctors that serve him, Lord, whatever it might be that's going on in his life. We just ask you to use it to your glory and heal his body, and let him, whatever he goes through, let him be a testimony of your love, of your goodness, Lord, to the people around him. He serves you well, and I just ask that your healing hand be on him as well. Inspire him, give him rest if he needs rest, give him whatever he needs, Lord, and you know that. Lord, I pray for Howard as he goes through this season and suffers a loss. I mean, this trip is important to him. I know that. And so fill his world with other joys in this moment. Let him clearly see why a trip to Dallas may not have been the thing in this moment, but boy, look at all this other stuff that's coming his way. As a matter of fact, I would pray that over everybody on this call and Lord, throughout your people. Let their hearts and their minds turn from the struggles that we've experienced this past year, and let them turn to a place where they really start to see just the blessings that you provide us every day, even in this season of COVID or economic calamity, whatever it might be, Lord. You still give us blessing upon blessing, and we just appreciate that. Let our hearts be filled with joy as we turn our faces towards you, as we seek the contentment of Paul, as we seek the contentment of so many of the disciples. Lord, let us just exceedingly be willing to give our all for you. Lord, let us be counted among your witnesses in those final days. True witnesses, Lord. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for so many things, but we thank you for your son, Jesus Christ, who died for us and lived for us. For that, we just thank you most of all. And it's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen.
Amen.
You know, Dan, on that bald spot, some people God gave hair, the rest he gave brains.
Happy birthday, Colleen.
There it is, man.
Thanks. It's a month. In a month. I'll enjoy my puppy. Good night, everyone.
Have fun, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.